All right, everyone, we got FOMC behind us. This is the daily candle on the SPY, but when you look at intraday, if you weren't there, you can really see. Let me pan out real quick here. There's a better view of what happened. So we were just trotting along into FOMC. The announcement came out, and then Powell started talking, and things went to hell. But a really nice bounce at the end, and you see it closed at 634.49. Now let me add after hours in here. And you can see what happened after hours. Meta reported, Microsoft reported, there were others, but those two really launched the market. So maybe maybe the selling's over already. Who knows, right? But at least FOMC's behind us, the uncertainty's behind us, and we can just go play the buy zones and everything we know how to play. So I'm much more comfortable after the FOMC is out. Probably the call of the day, REPL by Ramesh, and I'll show it to you for those that weren't there. So we had the gap up. Nobody knew why. But in the market, that generally doesn't matter. Let me zoom in on the day. So you can see here on the opening 5-minute candle, it topped out at 657, started to curl back up. Ramesh said back through 650 with the high of day just above. Loved it. And it went all the way to whatever the high was, 807. So a great call by Ramesh through 650. Have to give that the call of the day. All right, so what are we watching for tomorrow? Let me put this up real quick. New faces in chat. Understand this is just a video of charts that have good potential to give us great trades in the next market session. We focus on the intraday setups, but you want to start with stocks that are in play, and that's what this list is all about. And then we know how to trade them intraday, what to look for. So with that said, I'll start with FTAI. Just a big rip today, certainly worth watching tomorrow. Peloton, PTON, little mini breakout there on big volume. BHVN, that could certainly have a follow-through day. It's up at the top of this range here and had really nice volume today. Like the looks of that one a lot. GNRC used to have one of their generators. Big breakout today. Certainly worth watching for a follow-through day and really for the rest of the week. REPL, already talked about that one. That, it's an impressive move. So we want to keep our eyes on that. LIDAR, LIDR, tried to bounce today. We had it on Bounce Watch. I think I was in the kitchen getting some pretzels or something and missed a really nice setup. I can show it to you here. I really liked it over this, it's a bounce play. So there's the early high and it's chopping around and it topped out at 355. I would have taken that back through 350, right? With the 355 and it went nicely through 4. It doesn't matter. I didn't get it. Wasn't in my office at the time. Sometimes, you're not in front of the screens when something triggers. Frog, F-R-O-G, trying to break out here. ONDS, nothing that interesting about the chart, but it did have nice volume. And if you look at the intraday, it got this massive volume spike at the end of the day. None of us could find what it was, but maybe something's up there because it's still holding up pretty well on after hours. I believe that's drone related. My sleeper pick, AGRI, and I'll show you why it's an ugly chart, but on the intraday again, had this volume spike. Let me zoom in so you can see it a little better. See that big volume spike right here, topped out at 450, went along. I liked it back over 450, and before I could even blink, it happened. I didn't get it. But that's interesting. It's a tiny float, and they had some patent today that sounds like it could get it going. So who knows? But that one's just a sleeper pick. Tiny float, though, so it makes it more interesting. And then some of the bounce plays I've had on watch just go back on Bounce Watch. ABAT, Rare Earth Play, PDYN. Now is much closer to that support area I talked about in last night's video. DECK, again, after the gap up 4 red days in a row, pretty narrow range today. I like that for a bounce play. UPS is just getting hammered, but we could get a snapback bounce in that. As traders, snapback bounces pay just as well as a breakout if you catch it right. And then UAVS, I'm not so sure. I've had it on Bounce Watch for a few days, and then they did an offering, and it went out at the lows. So I don't love this one. But it's a drone play and maybe worth watching. All right, they did have a decent news story, I think, yesterday. So anyway, I'm going to keep an eye on that one too, and I'll see you guys in the pre-market, and we'll build a list of gappers to add to this list. All right, have a great night.